everybody, it's Sam at Mix.Craft. Thank you for watching my tutorial today. I thought I'd start the new year with something really lovely, and I have done this storage drawer set to hold my mini ink cubes from the Papercraft Society kit. So I actually said in one of the unboxing videos, I said, oh, I've got all these ink cubes. If anybody's got any great ideas for storage, let me know. Many of you said about the Tim Holtz little kind of tins that he does, and then a few of you said, Sam, why don't you make one? And when you said that, I thought, yeah, why don't I? So this is what I've come up with, and I adore it. I'm so pleased with this. Now the lovely thing is, it's just a really nice storage piece. You don't have to put the cubes in, which I have, but it also can be a shelving unit as well, so you don't have to make the drawers. So if I just pull out each drawer here, so you'll see I'm starting to put my cubes in. Now I've done the sizing for these so that it will fit 5 cubes this way with a little gap, so you have got room to get your fingers in, and then 4 down. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, but I've also done it so you can get 2 layers, so you can get 40 cubes as long as they are these size cubes, which most are, and these are 1 1/4 by 3/4. And it's just going to be lovely. So in total you'll be able to fit 120 square cubes in just this little unit, which I think is just such a nice little piece. So that is where my kind of idea for it has come for these, but I'll show you in this one here. There's the other cubes that I've got. All right, so it just, you know, because if you've had other kits in the past, you get all these little things, you know, these little the drop ones. These are from Hobbycraft, but they're actually, some of them are some really nice colours, and I just forget to kind of go to them, whereas this now can sit just, it's going to sit just to the right of me, so it's quite nice to be able to grab the smaller ones, because my bigger ones are just behind me. So yeah, it's nice for that. And then I've got the bottom one there as well, so you've got more room. So I have lined these ones. That middle one I've got to line. That's the only one, yeah, this one I still need to line the inside of, but it's completely covered in this absolutely stunning paper. And then that's what I was meant to show you. So if you do want to keep it just as a shelving piece, then you've got that, and that would look lovely. But also when you've made one, you could make a few, so you could have maybe 2 or 3 of these stacked up just for shelving. So you might have papers that you want to put on here. Obviously the size for this, it's going to be 6 by 6 that you have to put in, because it's coming in at 7.5. So if you do want to make yours for 8 by 8, you'd have to extend these pieces and obviously adapt a few more of the other measurements. But you could also just have maybe, you know, 1 drawer and the rest as shelves. So it's really nice that you've got the option to play around with it. And I'm certainly thinking now of extending so that this is on top, and then I have a shelving piece on the bottom maybe, or double the drawers. I don't know, it's really nice now that once you've done this and you see how to do it, it's very easy to adapt and to make, you know, bigger, smaller, whatever. But it's also given me a lot more inspiration to make some beautiful desk storage pieces that are going to last. You know, this stuff, once you've added your paper, I've used Collall glue over all of this, and it's just strengthening to become a really strong piece. It will make a beautiful gift, or just make it for yourself, which I've done for me. It's using one of my favourite paper pads, which I'll show you in a moment. So it's nice to use it on something that I'm going to get to appreciate, and everything just works so well. So let me show you how to make this really lovely piece of storage. Okay, so this is the paper pad I've used. It's a 12 by 12, A Touch of Romance by the Paper Tree. I got this one at Craft Stash. It should still be available because it isn't a Christmas paper, so hopefully those ones, you know, will still be there, because I think most people have obviously been buying Christmas papers of late. So this one I have used before, and it's just so pretty, and I wanted to, again, I do say it a lot, but when you've got a beautiful paper, some people don't like to cut into it. If I'm making something for myself, then I love to cut into the papers, and this is just going to be a really pretty storage piece in my craft room with this gorgeous paper. So yeah, that's what you'll see throughout. So first of all, I've got lots of pieces here, and I've already done 2 of the drawers. So what I would say is, when you're making this, is make your drawers first, because what you can do from there is, when you start to build the case, if you are slightly out with any of the measurements, you can adapt it. Whereas if you make the case first and then you find your drawers don't fit, it's just going to be very frustrating. So it's always best to do the drawers first, and plus you may well be making yours bigger, you may be making it longer in terms of the drawer size. So once you see how this is put together, there's lots of ways to adapt it, which I know many of you will do. So here I have what's needed for one of the drawers, and then everything here is what we need to construct the main case that it's all going to come in, and I will talk you through all of that. So I've used the 5mm foam board. I get mine from Hobbycraft. I get the A3 size, and it's either 3 or 4 sheets that you get for £10. I'm still using the same ones that I purchased originally, which I've made many of my Christmas projects with, and I have this project and another one still to come as well using the same amount of that. And I've got lots of offcuts now, bits like this, which I'm keeping in like a tub, so that then if I do need to go and make any smaller bits and pieces, these will come in handy. It's very easy to make. So you're going to need 3 pieces for the base of each drawer, and this will all be listed in my blog like this. So I will list the measurements for the drawers, then I'll list the measurements for the shelves, because you can also have this, as I've mentioned, as a separate shelving storage piece, and I will then list all the measurements just for the, you know, the main kind of case that it all sits in, just so it's easy for you to follow. And especially if you're doing it in like over a few days, you might want to do the drawers one day and so on, so it'd be easy for you to follow. So you want 3 pieces, base of the drawers, that are 7 1/4 by 6. All right. Now, obviously, these measurements that I'm giving you were based on me being able to fit this amount of cubes going along and then 4 going along this side, so that you can fit, what did I say it was, 5, 10, 15, 20, so 40 cubes per drawer, which I thought was a nice amount. Okay, so then you want 2 pieces for the sides, and these are going to be 5 3/4 by 1 7/8 of an inch. Okay, and they're going to go here. Then you want, these 2 are slightly different sizes because the front of the drawer actually will stick along the front of the base. Okay, just so we get more room within this piece. So this is for the front of the drawer, and this is 2 1/8. So you see it's slightly wider by, again, by 7 1/4. And then this is for the back of the drawer, and this is the same as the side. So this is 1 7/8 of an inch, and it's that same length again, 7 1/4. So first of all, get the largest, you know, that 2 1/4 piece, and you're going to stick it on the front here. Okay, so we're going to run glue along there, and we're going to stick it along the bottom of that piece there. So tip for this as well, when you're gluing larger areas, like when I done my advent, a few people were saying that they couldn't glue the whole area before the glue had already started to set. I don't have that problem because I leave my glue gun on for a good half an hour before I start any of these projects. When it's that hot, the glue will take a good 5 minutes to completely set rock hard. I want it to get really, really hot. So this has been on a long time. I've made sure I've got a nice, you know, long glue stick in there. So again, along this bit here, and you're only doing this on the, and I can see just how runny that glue is. It's just not going to set, and it gives you a lot of time to reposition. So do, yeah, top tip, leave your glue gun on, you know, a little bit longer before you start. So there it is, and then you're just going to stick this piece along there and let the glue ooze out, because what you can do is wipe it away again just before it's kind of set. It won't burn you, it will just be warm to touch, but you can easily kind of rub it away. So just make sure you keep it on a nice right angle, like so, and then I can just go along here and just, it will kind of like peel off, and just get those lumpy bits off. Don't worry about, you know, any other, if you know there's the odd bit, you can always pick it off with your knife, your cutting knife, but also you're going to cover it with paper, so don't worry too much. If you get any lumpy bits as well here, just go in with your pokey tool, and again you'll be able to kind of pick it away like so. All right, because some of those pieces may well interfere with your paper when you're going to cover it inside, so just kind of, yeah, just get your pokey tool in there and just take away any of those clumpy bits. You shouldn't have too much. You don't want to go crazy with the glue because it's hot enough, it will spread, but just take away any of the bulk. But now you'll see that's the front of one of our drawers. Next you want to stick the sides, which are going to go inside and on top of this piece, and then the base, then the back one will go on top along there, like so. And then again, go right up to the edge, and just, you've got time there to move it right up and squeeze in the sides there. And again, I can just rub that off there. Okay, and do the same on that end. And now this piece will go and sit along the back, like so. All right, so what you want to do is run some glue. Yeah, you run your glue just right on the edges there, and then along the bottom. Again, keep everything at right angles. You can move this, you know, foam, so it is a nice material to work with. So the more I've started to use this, the more I'm really enjoying it. Okay, and there's my drawer. Now I've obviously gone a little bit off when I went to cut this one here, because can you see it slightly goes down? That's not going to interfere with the stuff inside because I've given you room, you see there, so that you can get your fingers in and pull things out, but it will also helps if you are slightly off. But when you've got something like that, because I want to cover it with my paper, I'm just going to bring in my knife just to tidy it up. I'm going to use that one. And because this is the back, so the front is the piece that is stuck, you should have it looking like that, nice, you know, just one piece, whereas on the back you'll see the foam, so make sure that's the front. But with the back piece, what I've done on all of them is I've gone in with my knife on an angle, and it just kind of tidies it all off anyway, cuts away any kind of glue that you might have. So I'm just going to go all the way along and just trim that off. So now you've got that kind of angled piece, you see there? And it's also just tidied that up now. So you wouldn't have, you know, you wouldn't have known, because this is the front, this is all okay, that's just where you're pushing it in, so I'd rather that was all kind of tidied off at the back. So that is a tray, so you want to do it 3 times. So the time consuming part with this project is cutting all your pieces and obviously making sure you keep everything nice and straight. Once you've done these pieces, the decoration's really fun, so you want to do that 3 times, so that then you will have your 3 like this. Then you want to cover it all. So the way you cover it is, to be honest, completely up to you, and you don't even have to cover all inside. I just quite liked seeing that in there, and obviously not everybody's going to use it for their cubes, and I may well end up changing it, you know, in months to come, because I love to move my craft room around. Does anybody else do that? I do. Anyway, so you know, I may find that I want to put something else in here. So decorating the inside is optional, but the front piece, all I've done for that one is you can cover them all separate and then stick them together. That's, you know, entirely up to you as well. But all I've done is I've just ran some of my thin red tape along the top of this piece. Again, I'm working on the front, so that's solid piece. And just trim that off. And then I've just cut a piece of card or paper here from that pad, and this is the same length of this piece here, so it's 7 1/4. Okay, and then I've done it by 4, but that's, you know, again, you don't have to. You want to be able to stick this on the front. It's going to wrap around the front and then just tidy under here. I'm going to cover the underside of this at a later, you know, you don't need to watch me do that on camera, but you can see that I've covered underneath, obviously all the sides and everything, but you just measure them and cut your paper to size, so that's easy to do. So I'm just going to take the backing off of that piece, and then I'm just going to I've used my Cloud Glue for all of this, and it's worked really, really well. Because this is a shiny surface, I thought, I don't know if it's going to really be the best one to use, but actually it has, and it's added that strength as well, which the Cloud does. So just need to refill this one. I'm just going to cover all the front, and I'll add the glue to the underside in a moment, but I'm just going to stick this along there and then just wrap that around, and then I'm just going to add glue to the overhang of that pattern paper and stick it underneath. You can just push it down like so, and then just add some pressure from the top side. Okay, and that's the front decorated, because I know a lot of people will just do that. They're not going to be bothered by any of that, and that is all you're going to see. But I wanted to do a contrast, so that is going to be my middle drawer, so that again it just shows off more of the nice papers. But can you see now when they stack, and once I've added my little butterfly handles, it's going to look so sweet. So that moves me on nicely to the handles. Now these here I picked up from a shop called Biology, but they are, I believe, by just that craft brand, the one that's stocked in the range. It's stocked in where's that other place, like the Works, things like that. So they are just brads, but they're really thick metal ones. So I put some hot glue behind that piece, pierced them in, and then kind of, you know, bent the insides, and it's just given me these really nice little handles. So you know, look at other things you might have. You don't have to buy proper handles, although you can with these. You can get the ones with the screw. You can screw them in. You don't want to go too tight with the screw because it's a foam. Obviously, although it's a hard foam, you don't want to obviously push it too much. But even just some really strong, you know, glue, use your hot glue, and just a nice button or a bead or something will look lovely there. And I know lots of you will probably have some great ideas. So to get the positioning, all I've done is I've put my ruler along. So this is just over 2 inches high. I just put my ruler so it sits, you know, along the bottom of the drawer there. And then I came in at 2 inches. And then again on this side here, so it's 7 1/4, although that's just, this is a different ruler. See that ruler, it says 7 1/4, this one it's just a smidge under. So I'm just going to move that so it is at 7 1/4, and then just come down 2 inches, which will be 5 1/4. And I'm just putting a little marker there with my pokey tool. And then I just pierced using the metal on these because it's so strong. And that's how I just put it into place. So let me just push that one in. So you can see now I've just kind of pierced through. But as I push it in, I'm going to put some hot glue in there so that stays attached. So again, this one here. And the nice thing with this is you can change these, you know, if they do over time, because I'm, you know, probably going to be going to this quite a lot. You know, they probably will end up coming away or loosening. I can put a different, you know, you can just put another piece of pattern paper on. You can change it so it's easy to kind of, yeah, change with your mood kind of thing and your style. So I'm just going to go in here, pull it out a little bit further. There we go. I'm just going to pop some hot glue in there because you won't see any of it. And then just push that down. Okay, so they're all nicely secured now, and then inside you just push them in. I just use my pokey tool. You can kind of do it yourself, and then just push it down over each other, and then just cover it with your pattern paper. Like so. So they're nice and flat, and you can see there, once it's all covered, you don't see anything. So, you know, the paper to cover the back of this is 7 1/4 by, you know, the width of what you've done. But because I've gone in on an angle there, you want to measure from that piece, so it's just coming in under 6. But it's easier for you to measure it yourself and cut to what you need, because I don't want to give you that measurement and yours might be a little bit bigger and then you've wasted paper because you've cut it smaller. So it's very easy to do, and like I said, I think most people will just do this way anyway. Yeah, so get to that point, all your drawers done and all decorated nicely, and now we're going to move on to the case. Okay, so what you want to do first of all is you want to decorate the lid and the base. So these are both the same size, and these pieces measure 7 by 8 1/4. All right, so 2 pieces. Now you don't have to have foam board for the base. You might want to use grey board, you might use something different, but I've already gone ahead and covered this one. Now I don't know whether it's going to be the base or the lid, so it does look nice against the floral print of that bottom drawer. You just see there, obviously everything will be stuck better later. But then it would look nice as the lid as well because that's floral. So I'm just looking through my pad here just to see whether I go plain or not. Or I might do something with this stripe but have a little bit of the floral print kind of coming in. See, that could look really pretty and you get to see that on top. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to do, so I've still got that stripy element. I'm going to keep that one on the bottom, have this for the top. And you just cover them just like I would an album cover for a mini album. So I'm just going to bring this down because obviously I want to make sure I get that nice corner of that spray, but then the rest is going to be stripy. So if I just fold that there, I would say have 1 inch overhang. So you want a piece of pattern paper that's going to be, so it will be 1 inch on each side, so 8, so 10 1/4 by 7, 8 by 9. Okay, so I'm going to get this cut down. Okay, so I've just trimmed that down, and then you just want to stick this in the middle of that piece of paper that you've just cut. And you're going to do this twice because, like I said, the base and the lid are exactly the same size. I'm just going to fill up my bottle here. Yeah, that's better. That's what I use. That's the 1000ml one that I buy. It works out much better value for money, and then I just decant it into this smaller bottle. So just cover all of your side and just try and get it as close to the middle, really. Like I said, you want about that 1 inch overhang. And then I'm going to stick this again, the corners all the same way, so I just cover